Good morning. Good morning and welcome. If you haven't already, I know I've said this is my third time saying this. If you haven't already, go ahead and scan the QR code. That's how we know that you are here, that you've checked in. I'm going to leave that there just for a moment longer so you can check in. All right. While you have your phones out, if you don't, go ahead and get them out again. Another QR code. This is dangerous, isn't it? Asking students to get their phones out. This QR code is your program for today. You'll need to use it to follow along. We have the Code of Professionalism, which you will read towards the end of this program. So go ahead and download this and follow along. All right, guys, thank you all for being here this morning. This is the 2023 Professionalism Forum, and I'm going to turn it over to your graduate SGA president, Pooja Punakolu. Pooja, I'm sorry, I just messed that up. It's not like I don't know you. Pooja is our graduate SGA president and will get us started this morning, so please come forward.
Thank you, Dr. Wallace. Good morning, everyone. We are so excited to have you all here today at our annual Professionalism Forum. My name is Pooja Punakolu. I'm a second-year medical student, and I serve as your current Graduate Student Government Association president. I would like to begin by introducing one of your classmates, Natalie Paladinez, to ring the Arsenal bell. The three rings of the Arsenal bell represent the past, the present, and the future. So the next time you hear this bell ring, it will be at your graduation. Thank you, Natalie. Okay, so seeing that we're at the Professionalism Forum, I'd like to start by talking about what professionalism is. So we all know the general idea of it, something along the lines of being respectful to others or presenting yourself well. But as you may know, it can be a lot more than that. Professionalism includes serving your community, being culturally competent, having personal accountability, and more. The part of professionalism that I would like to touch on today is taking on the role of being a representative. A lot of you will be entering a field in which you may be representing a patient, their family, and making decisions to help them in their care. Augusta University provides several ways for you to learn how to be an effective representative, and one of them is Graduate SGA. Graduate SGA is formed of elected and appointed students from various graduate programs at AU. Our main purpose is to serve as a representative body for all graduate and professional students. We advocate and communicate for students' needs, interests, and concerns. We play a pivotal role in enhancing the graduate student experience by facilitating communication between students and university administration, organizing events to promote academic well-being, allocating funding for student initiatives, and most importantly, ensuring that graduate students have a voice in the decision-making that affects their education and campus life. So far, just this semester, we have allocated funding to more than 20 student organizations for events and even more individuals for research. We have monthly blood donation programs in order to give back to the community, and we're promoting medical student-run free clinics into multidisciplinary free clinics with other graduate programs, thereby increasing interprofessionalism on campus. GSGA has the ability to carry out a lot of change, and we're hoping that with increased student involvement and support, we can continue to help Augusta University grow. Your time here at AU will be only as good as you make it, so I'd like to encourage all of you to really encompass all parts of professionalism and get involved in school to leave your impact, whether it be through Graduate SGA or a different pathway. And always remember that your actions will represent not only yourself, but your school your classmates, your future patients, and more. So make sure that you learn how to be the best representative that you can be. And on that note, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Russell Keene, who is the Executive Vice President of Administration and Chief of Staff to the President. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Some of y'all might need some coffee. It's great to be with you this morning. On behalf of our President, Brooks Kill, and our entire executive cabinet, I want to welcome you and congratulate you. You are all sitting in seats that several other people vied for and wanted. You are here for a purpose, and you will be successful. We live in a state that's very sick. It's no secret. We are the bottom of a number of health indicators. We need you. And so for those of you right now who are still kind of in a daze maybe, I need you to lean in for 1 minute. Because I don't know who this is for, but I feel compelled to share a story with you this morning. And it's a story about a farmer in the 1800s. This man had a single donkey, a single mule, a single plow, a shack, and a couple acres. He plowed this land until he had calluses on his hand, sweat on his brow every single day. And one day, a traveler from India came by and saw this man. He said, "You know, you look like you're miserable." And the farmer said, "I kind of am." And he said, "There's a diamond rush going on in India right now. And there's a place called the Valley of the Moon. And in between these two mountains, there's a stream. And in that stream, you could put your hands down and grab diamonds that are bigger than rocks." He said, "If you were to go to the Valley of the Moon, you'd be extraordinarily wealthy, and you would never, ever have to plow these fields again." The traveler left. The farmer that night was trying to sleep, and he tossed and he turned. He tossed and he turned for another day. Plow in the field, he'd think about it. And he tossed and turned some more. And he woke up that next morning, and he told his wife and his children he was going to sell the farm. He was going to sell the farm, and he was going to chase wealth and fame and fortune. And when he got back, they would all be royalty. And so he set them up, and he went off to India. And he went to the Valley of the Moon, and he searched and he searched. And he spent all the money that he'd sold the farm on in search of diamonds. Disheartened, he ended up in Europe. And to make a long story short, he was out of money. And he wrote a final note to his wife and said, "There are no diamonds. There are no diamonds anywhere." And he plunged in the river to his death. That is a tragic story, but that is not where it ends. It is a true story. You see, the man he sold the farm to in the same field, in the same shack, had his family. The same mule, the same plow, was plowing those fields and growing produce. Except there was one thing that continued to get in the way: these rocks. And he was aggravated with these rocks, and he'd throw the rocks over, and stacks of rocks. And finally, one day, he saw this big black rock that had the sun hit it just right, and there was all these colors of the rainbow. And he took that rock and he put it on his mantle. And one day, a priest comes by, and he's talking to him about his family, and in mid-sentence, he stops and said, "Oh my gosh, where did you find this?" And the farmer said, "I got stacks of those. They're just rocks that are getting in the way of my plow." And he said, "This is a diamond in the rough." And sure enough, they did some research, and they went into that and found out that that one rock was worth $25,000. And in the 1800s today, that would be worth millions. And this man had stacks and stacks of them. Later on, they found that that was the largest single diamond mine ever in the history of the world, was right there. And so when you think about that and how wonderful that was for the farmer who bought that land, I want you to think about the farmer who sold it. He was on a field of diamonds right in front of him, but he couldn't see it. A field of diamonds. All the wealth that he chased was right in front of him. Why? A field of diamonds that I pray that each of you will see. The professors and the clinicians that you'll be working side by side with, the colleagues that you'll have beside you, they are there to help open your eyes and see the diamonds that you have within you. We have diamonds at this university that if you would just open your eyes, you could see there is a wealth of information to be learned here, a wealth of technology and innovation and research that you can be a part of to help this state find the diamonds of healthcare and good health and innovation. You are all here for a purpose. This is your field. Plow it. The professors that you have, they will help you open your eyes and see the diamonds that you have within you. Thank you for being here. We welcome you to Augusta University. Have a great educational experience. Go Jags.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Neil McKinnon, the Provost of the university. And way back in the day, I was in one of the seats where you are, not the exact seat, but I was a first-year pharmacy student. And today I chose to put on my, this actually isn't my old white coat. This is from the Dental College of Georgia. That's okay. They loaned it to me. And, you know, there's something to be said about starting your health professional career and the bright future that's ahead of you. But at the same time, you know, professionalism really will be a daily test. And I just want to share with you kind of two examples of that from my profession, the profession of pharmacy. The first one, his name is Robert Courtney. Robert Courtney owns several pharmacies in Kansas City. And those pharmacies actually prepared chemotherapy for cancer patients in infusion clinics and at home. And, you know, things seem to be going well in his pharmacy, but there's always these rumors that something wasn't quite right in his pharmacy. And finally, there actually was a whistleblower who went to the FBI, and the FBI did an investigation of his pharmacy. And what they found over a period of about a year is that Robert Courtney was diluting those prescriptions of chemotherapy. The FBI took over 150 samples, and they found that they ranged usually anywhere from 17 to 37%. One that they found was diluted to 1%. So think if you were a cancer patient and you went to the pharmacy and you trusted that pharmacist, and that pharmacist was destroying your trust by diluting your prescription. When he was interviewed later on in court, he actually said in front of the court, "I acted out of greed to make money." And the local newspaper in Kansas City, when they were interviewing some patients, one patient said this, "You know, we always trusted pharmacists, and now this." Imagine if you were a health professional in Kansas City at the time that was going on. I suspect your patients would probably question your trust. You know, if the pharmacist is doing this, is my doctor also abusing my trust? My nurse, my dentist, my PA, my PT, my OT, etc. Well, I want to share with you a second story that's a little bit more positive, and her name is Pam Kennedy. Pam Kennedy is also a pharmacist. When she graduated, she went and bought her own pharmacy, just like Robert Courtney did. But instead of acting in that behavior, she wanted to do good. And over a period of about 10 years, she expanded her practice. She entered into a collaborative practice agreement with physicians in the medical building. It allowed her to do some independent prescribing and monitoring and work collaboratively. She actually opened up a kind of a patient exam room, hired 2 nurses to be part of her pharmacy practice to screen patients for disease. And last year, her and her pharmacy team received an award as the top pharmacy team in her region for her innovative practice. What's interesting, Pam actually is a former student of mine. She works in the pharmacy, the one that she bought, I used to work in, and my parents go to see her. She's my parents' pharmacist. So obviously my short message is be like Pam, not like Robert. But I think you tested with your professionalism is in the day-to-day. If you're feeling tired, you've had a bad day in your personal life, are you truly going to be attentive to your patients? You know, your patients and your clients are all not going to be super happy people that are going to give you hugs and tell you how awesome you are. You're going to deal with difficult patients that are hard to love and hard to provide good patient care to. That's where your professionalism will also be tested. So my charge is to you, whether you're having a good day or a bad day, whether you have a patient or a client who appreciates you or not, is to keep on. Be like Pam. Expand your practice. Do what you can for your patients. Do we have any College of Allied Health students here today? Let's try that again. College of Allied Health students? All right. So it gives me a great pleasure right now to introduce your dean, Dr. Lester Pretlow. Dean Pretlow.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's good to be here, and it's good to see you. It's good to welcome you all, and I do bring you greetings from the... I'm watching myself over there. I don't like that. All right? But I bring you greetings from the College of Allied Health Sciences. It's wonderful to be here. The College of Allied Health Sciences has 89 faculty and 26 staff, and all of us are elated to have you here with us. You know, the College of Allied Health Sciences, actually, Augusta University is my home. And I have been here now for 22 years. And I don't mind telling you, I love this place. And I love when we get this wonderful opportunity to have good people like you, diamonds in the rough even, to come and join us. And you are diamonds in the rough, and that is what the Professional Forum is really all about. Just a little bit about the college. The college is 55 years old this year, and so we've been here a long time, and all of my students, I think a lot of them are sitting right there and over there. I see you. You know, I'm so glad to have you here with us. And what 55 years means to you, Allied Health Sciences, but it means the same thing to nursing. It means the same thing to dentistry, my pals up here, and medicine, my pals up here for that. It means the same thing to all of us, is that we know what we're doing. In other words, you are in good hands. And I want you to trust those hands to get you to where you need to go. Because that is actually what today is about, the Professionalism Forum. Because you have not just entered into any academic program. You have entered into the world of the professional healers. Let me say that again. The professional healers. And I don't know when my slide is going to come up for AU values, but the AU values are especially important to the professional healers. And there they are. They're on the board right now. Because this is what we exemplify every day in the skills and the crafts that we give to our patients, that we give to our colleagues, that you give to your families, that we give to each other, the AU values. So they are very important. And I think we can almost, as I look at them, I was thinking of them, and we can almost really kind of divide them into two categories, because they are fairly, that's complex. How do I do all of those things that I see up there? How do I do? But I think there are two categories up there. I want to start with excellence, because I think that's in a category by itself. And what excellence means is working hard. It means working hard. And I know some of my students have already heard this. And since we're all telling great stories today, I have a little bit of a story. But the story is about when I was in graduate school. And I'm telling you, I worked full-time, went to graduate school. My wife had a baby. I would get up in the morning. My wife was a teacher. She'd go to work first thing in the morning. So who was left to get the baby and the 9-year-old at that time ready? Well, that was me. Okay, so I'd comb hair. I hated that part, combing little girl hair. Okay, then my daughter would go to school and recomb it. But I'd get them to school, and then I'd run to work, and then at about 3, 4 o'clock, I'd run to class, and I would stay in class till about 8 o'clock, and then I would go get some fast food, then I would go to the library, and I would stay in the library till midnight. And that was my life, Sunday through Friday. That was my life, Sunday through Friday. But this is what I did. So I worked. But this is what I did on Friday, and this is what I want you to do. I'm going to give you some advice today, and this is just one of them. On Friday at about 5 o'clock, I put it away. I put all books away. I put all studying away. I put all reading away, and I went home to be with my wife and my children. And I was with my wife and my children on Saturday evening, on Sunday morning, but by 1 or 2 o'clock Sunday, I was back at it, back in the library. So in other words, I want you to take some time. I want you to work, y'all. I want you to work hard, but I want you to save 24, 36, 48 hours for yourself. Do y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? Every week, I want you to save some time for yourself. It's very important. So excellence. Work hard. The other, I think we can probably put the other 5 into one category. I want to give you a piece of advice, something that I am learning even, as I get older. I come to understand, more and more and more and more as I am a leader over a great group of students, a leader over a great group of people. But one of the most deadly things, unprofessional things that we don't need to do, us don't need to do as professionals. We need to take criticism out of our mouths. We should not criticize anybody. We are living in a world where criticism seems to be an acceptable norm. What I'm saying is I don't want you criticizing each other. This is the look of a professional. I don't want you criticizing each other. I don't want you criticizing my faculty, my people. Has nothing. Criticism is one of the most destructive forces in the world. And we as professionals should not be doing it. All right? We should not be doing it. Criticizing, complain, or even punishing. Criticizing people is a way of punishing people. So those 5, collegiality, compassion, inclusivity, integrity, leadership, if we can start, and y'all are, and I'm doing this with y'all, if we can start in just that one place, in just that one, and get criticism of each other out of our mouths, then we will go a long way for professionalism. I want to tell you a little bit about a few people who knew that and believed that, like Abraham Lincoln, like Benjamin Franklin, like Dale Carnegie. There's a wonderful book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I would suggest you all get it and read it, that you all get it and read it, because it is powerful. It's a powerful book on professionalism, and so that you can really understand what that means, that I've certainly read. The secret of leadership is getting along, is knowing how to get along with people and how to treat people. In other words, the secret, here's another piece of advice, is how you make people feel is everything, okay? You want to go far in this world, it is based on how you make people feel. Have you guys ever heard of Charles Schwab? He has a huge financial organization. I actually invest my money with Charles Schwab. But you know anything about Charles Schwab? Charles Schwab was one of the first people in America to make $1 million, to be hired and given a salary of $1 million. Okay? You think they hired him because of his skill with his technical skill? and gave him $1 million? Well, the answer is no. Charles Schwab, first person in America to be hired for $1 million, was hired and given that money because the way he knew how to handle people. And that was it. And Charles Schwab didn't criticize. He helped. Instead of criticizing, what do you think he should do? Appreciate. You have to appreciate one another. Values. You have to appreciate one another. And I don't mean superficial flattery, all right? I mean from your heart, appreciating one another and always appreciating one another. So listen, guys, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. I wish you great, great success. Allied Health, you're the best. Okay, nursing is good, and MCG and DCG too. But listen, guys, I appreciate you, and you guys take care, and great success.
Wow, I could listen to Dean Prello all day long. He's great. And I love working with him and all the others. So good morning. I am Dr. Nancy Young. I am the new Dean of the Dental College of Georgia. The DCG is the only dental school in the state of Georgia. And we're proud to have the opportunity to educate the future dental health care providers for this state and beyond. Our students begin their first semester, in case you didn't know it, with 41 credit hours. And they finish with a grand total of 288 credit hours. That's a lot. That's an intense 4 years. But during this time, they are building not only a foundation of knowledge in their profession, but also learning how to be compassionate and competent doctors, leaders in their community, and for many, business owners. We're very proud of them. As I look out at everyone today, I see two people for each one of you. The first one is the person you are today, and the other one is the person you're destined to be. Don't forget that second person. My advice to you is to be resilient when faced with challenges. Learning to be resilient will help you prepare to handle anything. Serve others when you feel overwhelmed or down. Nothing lifts your spirits like helping someone else. And be grateful. Appreciate, like Dean Pretlow said, appreciate what you have every day, because it only takes 1 second for something to change in your life. And be engaged in life. It's the only one you have. Take that time. Take that 24, 36 hours to do something for yourself. Make the most of it. It's the only time you have. So I'm pretty short with words. I know everybody's probably thankful of that. But on behalf of the DCG, we really want to welcome you to Augusta. And I have to say, go DCG.
Thank you, Dean Young. So one thing I failed to mention at the beginning of this session, this Professionalism Forum, is this is your first interdisciplinary event. And you've heard from a couple of your deans. You'll hear from all of the deans of the health sciences colleges today. Make sure that you're getting to know your colleagues across the institution, especially your health sciences colleagues. You all will have to work together to treat patients. And I think that's an important piece of professionalism. So I want to talk with you today about another subject. It's about living well and being holistically well. We have a Jags Live Well initiative here at Augusta University. And by the way, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Scott Wallace. I serve as your Dean of Students here at Augusta University. And my portfolio is about the holistic wellness of students in Jags Live Well. And so this is our logo. It's an initiative that we have regarding holistic wellness for you here at Augusta University. So when you think of your profession, I imagine you think about treating patients in a helping profession, helping others to be well. And the reality is if you're not taking care of yourself, there's no way that you can take care of your patients. So we want to encourage you and challenge you and charge you to take care of yourself first. Make sure that you're doing what you need to do to take care of you so you can take care of your parent or your patients. So you've heard that theme today. You've heard that theme of taking care of yourself. Dr. Pretlow talked about making sure every week that you've spent time for you. That is a theme here at AU and something that we just implore you to do. Jags live well. That's what we do as Jaguars. We live well. So when we're talking about Jags Live Well initiative, we're talking about holistic wellness. And what that means is we're talking about 8 dimensions of wellness. We're not just talking about physical health or mental and emotional health. There's 8 dimensions of wellness. 8 dimensions of wellness. We want you to be holistically well. My desire for you as your Dean of Students is that when you leave this place, that you have acquired the knowledge and the skills and the abilities to treat patients well. But it's more than that. You have the opportunity now to set the banquet table for the rest of your life. And it's not just you that's going to be eating off of that banquet table. It's you and your family, your children and your children's children. So make sure that you're setting the banquet table now, that you're doing the things now that contribute to your future. You know, there's a guy that I like to listen to. His name is Craig Groeschel. He has a leadership podcast and really insightful person and leader in the world. And he said something that I heard recently. He said, you know, when you're born, you look like your parents. And when you die, you look like your habits. So you've got to set the banquet table now and start those habits of living well now that are going to last the remainder of your life. It's habits that will become part of who you are. It's habits that become part of who your family is. It's part of living well and part of being a professional in the healthcare setting. I know this is dangerous again. Can you get your phone out? Scan the QR code. I think this is our last QR code of the day, by the way. Scan the QR code. This QR code gets you to resources for Jags Live Well initiative. You can see our Jags Live Well social media accounts. I would encourage you to follow them. There's a Jags Live Well website, which is really augusta.edu/Jags Live Well. Easy to remember, right? Jags Live Well. We hope that this has become part of the university lexicon. This has become part of the initiative that we have for all of our students. We want our students not to just gain those knowledge and skills and abilities to do well. We want you to leave here being elite individuals. And how you do that is that you live every day purposefully. You live a purposeful life. You live purposefully in trying to be holistically well. Our Jags Live Well initiative is about you and your holistic wellness. This slide here talks about what our Jags Live Well is. It's a one-stop shop. The website is a one-stop shop. You've got articles when you go to the website. If you're on the website now, if you scroll down a little bit and you see all 8 dimensions, those 8 dimensions of wellness. If you click on each one of those, there's articles and information and videos about each one of those dimensions of wellness. So if you click on emotional wellness, you have articles and videos about what it means to be holistically or what it means to be emotionally well. If you click on the financial block, there's articles and videos about financial wellness and so on. Visit this website often. It changes. We're adding content all the time. Our vision for Augusta University is that we create a culture of wellness here. Why not? We are the state's health sciences institution. We're the state's wellness institution. We want to create a culture of wellness, and we need your help. We need your help. Also, there are services available to you, and I want to encourage you to use them. We have our student counseling and psychological services area, our counseling center. We have our student health services. Student health is a full-service clinic that we have available to you. And by the way, these are services at no additional cost. So use them, utilize them. Our testing and disability services areas for students who may have a documented disability. Open Paul's Food Pantry. We have 2 locations for Open Paul's Food Pantry for students who are food insecure. These are in our Jags care program for our care team and just that we care about our students. So utilize these resources. They are there for you. They are there for you. We also have Christie Campus Health, which is a 24/7. You can call if you need a counselor. You can call. And by the way, there's always stigma. There has been since the beginning. There's stigma sometimes around utilizing counseling, right? Well, what I will tell you is the only people on our campus that, you may think that well, if I'm going to the counseling center, I have a problem. And what I'll say is the only people on our campus that don't have problems are the ones that are in the graveyard in the Somerville campus. We all are dealing with something, right? Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're going to our counseling center. Headspace is a meditation app. How many of you have heard of Headspace? Yeah, quite a few. We have an app, or the Headspace app is available to you. It's free. That's a great price, isn't it? I love things that are free. Download Headspace as a student. It's free for you. It's a meditation app. It's a lot of information there about sleep. And so I encourage you to utilize the resources on our campus. We also need your help. We need your help in realizing that vision of us having or creating a culture of wellness on our campus. We need your help in giving us ideas about how we can do things better. We're always growing. As I'm on a personal growth journey, and I hope every one of you are on a personal growth journey, our institution is on a growth journey. We're working every day to try to make this institution better. So, and how we do that is getting great information from you, great ideas from you. We need you to help produce new video content. We've got a video from DCG on there about the proper way to brush your teeth and oral cancer screenings. There's so many opportunities for you as students to get engaged in this process in the Jags Live Well initiative by producing video content that is valuable for our broader community. And then finally, again, we just need you to produce that video content and provide us these ideas. That's how you can help. And so my final thing I will tell you is this. Find what is right for you. I know I've had people tell me, well, you need to, for stress management, meditation is a great way. Well, that's just not my thing. Yoga was something that changed my wife's life, and she laughs at me. She tells people, yeah, you tell everybody to do yoga but you don't do it. It's not my thing. What is your thing? Maybe it's Maybe it's exercise. Maybe it's getting in the weight room. Maybe it's running. Maybe it's breath work, Wim Hof, ice baths, cold showers. Whatever it is, do your thing. Whatever it is, find your thing and do it, and do it consistently. Because I believe that how we can move the needle is not by doing something drastic, but it's the small, consistent things we do over time that make the biggest difference. It's the small, consistent things over time. We know that elite individuals, which is what we desire that you become, that you are when you leave here, we know that elite, excellent individuals do consistently what everybody else does occasionally. So be consistent in your work. Be consistent in your wellness. Develop those great habits that will last a lifetime, that will change your family. If you have a streak, you are trying to train for a 5K, and you're running every day, and you're consistently running. You're training. You start out with maybe I'm going to run a mile this week and 2 miles the next week. And I've been doing this training to run a 5K for 10 days, and then I miss a day. You can't just stop. You've got to start the streak again, continue that consistency. So, Jags, live well. I'm imploring you to live well. As healthcare professionals and part of professionalism, we want you to be able to take care of your patients because you are holistically well. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for your attention this morning. Thank you for living well. Visit our resources, visit the website. Be that healthcare practitioner that is able to take care of their patients because you've set the banquet table well today. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Brands of MCG to tell you a little bit about MCG.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Wallace. So my name is Mike Brands. I'm the Vice Dean of MCG. On behalf of our Dean, David Hess, and all our faculty and staff, I want to welcome everybody here. So I know you all feel like you're being held hostage. It's required, so I guess that's somewhat appropriate. But as Dr. Wallace said, you're all in the same field. You're going to be working with each other. So there's some benefit here of kind of just looking around and mingling, at least on the way out even, and just shake hands, get to know each other. And I was thinking about this message, sharing this message with you, and the first thing that came to my mind was an old Sesame Street skit where Rick Moranis turns to the Muppet next to him, and he goes, "Put out your hand and say hello. You might meet someone really neat to know. Just put out your hand and say hello. You might meet someone really neat to know." And you're all going, did that guy just sing Sesame? The unfortunate thing is my wife's going to hear about this. I'm going to get so much trouble for doing that. But I was kind of laughing over here because I was hearing the 3 inspirational stories. I thought, I'm going to walk up and sing a Sesame Street song. But it's inspirational. Really, reach out and meet people. It is important to know the folks you're working with. It makes the workplace a lot better. So I really only have 2 messages I want to give you. 1, 2. I love to count. I did not watch Sesame Street this morning, but I had to follow up to keep the theme going, right? And actually, Dr. Wallace is back here going, he's writing down, need new speaker from MCG next year, right? So I've got to work on that. So the messages are, the first one is, it should be fun to come to work. It should not be miserable to come to work. You all are going to have super hard jobs. This is part of the hardest jobs in the world is working in healthcare and biomedical research. It's very difficult, but it should not be miserable to come to work. And a lot of the reasons why you can make it fun is with the people that you work with. You're going to have days, hard days. You're going to finally get all your stuff together, be walking out, and something's going to come up that you know you have to fix before you leave. And it's going to take you a couple hours to do it. So you put your lunchbox back down, everything, you set it down, and you go do it. But someone's helping you. People are going to work together to get through this. It might even be something that you messed up in the first place. Someone's going to have to help you correct your mistake. But next time it'll be your mistake, so their mistake, whatever. The team works together. So just having a good team, enjoying the folks that you work with, makes it a lot more pleasant to come to work. And you can just do fun things like sing Sesame Street songs or whatever, just to make it fun to come to work. You should really enjoy coming to work. The second message is kind of relates to professionalism. And I had a lot of experience on promotions committees, and I would say 99% of the cases I've seen are because people just simply weren't nice to each other. It's amazing that simple. You should respect yourself and respect everybody else. It kind of goes back to a little bit what Dr. Pretlow was talking about with our university values, the way you treat each other, the Schwab story. It's critical. And so people, of course, in the workplace, you have all kinds of different titles. There's the president, provost, you have division chiefs, chief residents, faculty, staff, housekeeping, all kinds of different job titles. You need those titles for order in the workplace. But those are job titles. There's no hierarchy for people. We're the same. Everybody's getting up every day. The old Dunkin' Donuts commercial. Got to make the donuts. The guy trudges across. Got to make the donuts, every guy. So everyone just coming to work. Everyone is the exact same. We just come to work. There's no hierarchy for people. So really, if you just treat everybody the same, you say, hey, when you come to work, just saying hi to people makes a huge difference. So that's really the message, is just enjoy coming to work, treat everybody the same, enjoy each other's company, and you'll have a great career. So before I sing any more songs, I'm going to go ahead and say congratulations for being here, and good luck. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm Tanya Soudia, Dean of the College of Nursing. And no, I will not be singing a song. I don't have awesome stories, but I do bring you warm greetings from the College of Nursing. So let's see, we have students here today from both our Bachelor of Science in Nursing program and our Master of Science Clinical Nurse Leader program. Let me see all of you. I think we're the biggest group here, but so great deal. And we have our white coat ceremonies this afternoon, and I look forward to officially welcoming you in that capacity this afternoon. So my message for all of you today, I want to focus, it's part of our core values, part of professional values of every profession, and that is focusing on the caring aspect of your profession, and in particular, that compassionate caring. We can prepare you. Your faculty will prepare you very well. You'll be very proficient at skills that you will be engaged in. Again, regardless of profession, the skill set that you bring may vary somewhat. You will be tested on knowledge, both verbally, through other exams before you enter your profession. There will be certification exams, licensure exams. But the one thing we can instill in you is a value, but you have to bring that every day, every patient encounter, is to remember that the person in front of you, and nurses, you'll hear me say this again this afternoon, I can't emphasize this enough. The person that is in front of you, they may have the name or the title patient at that time, but they are a person, a human being who is entrusting themselves to your care. And it's your obligation to step back, put all the things aside, and really think about what does that mean to deliver compassionate care? And how can I do that better with every patient encounter that I have? They will remember excellent treatment, but more importantly, like all things in life, we remember how we're treated, how care was delivered more than anything else. I congratulate you on being accepted into your respective professional programs. I look forward to getting to meet you, to seeing you on campus, and I wish you all the very best. And thank you for choosing your chosen health profession, and thank you especially for choosing to begin your educational journey here at Augusta University. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Soudia. Now we have our keynote principal owner and co-founder of Catalyst. She leads a team of professional consultants and family performance experts that is poised to partner with organizations to coach executives and develop high potentials in leadership. She honed her leadership skills as a registered nurse and U.S. Army officer with over 20 years of experience and serving teams across the globe. The diversity of her experience as a clinician, human resources expert, and educator is unparalleled. I think you're going to enjoy her talk today. Having served in key leadership roles in medical facilities and in academic institutions, in executive agencies, Wendy believes that the common factor of success or failure in each organization is its leadership. In addition to her degrees, she has earned certificates in executive coaching at the University of Georgia and certifications in women's leadership and diversity and inclusion from Cornell University. She currently serves as the chairman of the board for the Columbia County Chamber. She and her husband also partner in ministry to married couples. They serve on Family Life's Weekend to Remember speaker team. And they host a weekly live broadcast on Facebook and YouTube called The Marriage Shop. Would you please welcome Miss Wendy Perry.
All right, so I always wanted to do this. I love sports, and we're here, and so we're going to start on my right, and we're going to do the wave. And so I don't want you to stand up. I just want you to throw your hands up, and you can shout out or yell whatever you want. I mean, I usually go, woo, but you can do whatever you want. So we're going to start over here. Are you guys ready? Yes, yes. All right, so I'm going to count to 3, and we're going to start from this side to that side, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Great job, great job. So you heard a little bit about me, and I'm going to share a little bit more. I am truly honored to be here with you today. And yes, my background is nursing, and I've done a few other things. But if you'll let me take you on a little journey, I hope that you learn a little bit. But I'm just excited about you. So my slides are up, and we'll move it along. So I am talking about professionalism, but let me share a little bit about myself. There was evidence very early in my life, and that, yes, that is a picture of me. Whether innate, acquired, or developed, there was a theme and indicators of caring and leadership from the very beginning. I was a Girl Scout. I was a Brownie. I was a safety patrol. I did some dance. You can see me there in that red, white, and blue. I've been speaking from the very beginning. It's an interesting thing. And what I want you to do is I want you to take a couple of seconds and think about something that is within you that's been evident from the very beginning. Just think about that for a second. And when you discover that or you remember that, I just want you to say out loud, I see it. Okay, so 3 of you see it. And that's okay. I know some of you, it may take a little longer, and perhaps you haven't been challenged to look back and think about things that may have been imparted in you or developed in you from the very beginning, but I promise you it's there. And sometimes those things really determine and dictate how you will operate. It tells you what your purpose will be. And so as I move through this, another picture I want to show you is of a mouse. Is there a mouse up there? Yes. So everyone has an origin story, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about mine. So we lived in Maryland. I'm not from Georgia, but now I've been living here for about 10 years, but I grew up in Maryland. And we had a basement in our house. And one summer, our family of 5 became a family of 6. So it was my dad, my mom, my sister, me, my dog Princess, and Jerry. My father was not, y'all got that right? Like Tom and Jerry? Okay. So my father was not excited about our uninvited guests, and he set several traps, much to my dismay. So there I was, imagine if you will, in my bedroom with all of my lab experiments and potions, as my sister called them, and toys, watching my little black and white TV. Yes, we had TV when I was a little girl. We didn't have cell phones, but don't judge me. And there I was in the sanctitude of my room, and whack! I heard the trap go off. I waited to hear my dad come down the stairs, and he didn't come. I didn't hear my mother come down the stairs either. So I left out of my room. I went to the laundry room, and I went to the trap. And there in the trap was a little mouse, and he was caught by his little tiny butt and a foot. And I carefully removed him from that trap. And I looked him in the face, and he was still breathing. I was excited. I took him to my bathroom. I cleaned him up. I put him in a warm washcloth, and I wrapped him gently. I kissed him. I sang to him, and I watched over him for what felt like hours. And then he started to wiggle a little bit. His little nose and whiskers were moving, and I thought, yes, you will make it. I was so excited. I called to my sister and I said, come and see what I've done. I have nursed this mouse back to health. She came in there and she left right out. She ran upstairs and got my mom. My mother runs downstairs. She screams. And then she says some words that I cannot say to you today. And then she looked at my face with tears welling up in my eyes. And she said, I think he would be better off in the wild. I'm going to get your father so that he can return him to the wild. And I thought, yes, my work here is done. I have successfully returned him and nursed him back to health. So my father comes down. My mother and father exchange a few words, and my father then takes the mouse all the way down to the toilet and flushed him. I know. You thought it was going to be a good story. I was mortified. I was so upset. I couldn't believe that all of my efforts to save this little mouse had just gone down the toilet. But I was not deterred. They did not keep me from wanting to save any little thing I could save. And so I never let them forget Jerry the mouse. So much so that they got me 2 hamsters, Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet had 7 dwarves, and they ate them. I know. Nurses are the worst, right? But I continue to love animals, and I love animals to this day. And I just want to clarify, as I took you on that journey with me, that I initially wanted to be a veterinarian. But alas, when I was in high school, I decided to pursue nursing instead. I entered a nursing program on an ROTC scholarship. Is anyone in here on an ROTC scholarship or ROTC? All right, I see you. And I had this pressure on me to do well. I felt this pressure. I was the first one to go to college in my family. Maybe some of you are the first ones to go to college in your family. If you are the first to go to college in your family, I want you to say, that's me. All right. I had this pressure to do well, and in fact, I was the first to graduate college, but I'll tell you, it wasn't easy. It was not smooth. And just when I felt the most pressure, I failed my first class. It was pathophysiology. I remember it like it was yesterday. You feel my pain. I failed it the first time. I got an A in it the second time. It's not about failure. It's about how you pick yourself up and move on. It threw off my complete timeline, and it added a year. But you know what? Nobody really cares about how long it took you once you arrive. I want you to think about your journey and how maybe the road is not straight, and maybe some of the things that you had to go through and things that you had to overcome. I will share with you that both of my parents died before I was the age of 30. And there are many things that I've had to endure throughout my life. I was pregnant for the first time after having served in the Army for a number of years, and I had a miscarriage. And I have an amazing and wonderful husband who was there with me, for me, and took care of me during that time. You never know who you're going to need, but I can guarantee you that at some point in your life, in your career, in your journey, you will need someone. I got through. I got to Walter Reed as an Army nurse, and I worked on a pediatric unit, and I was good at it. I remembered how I nursed that mouse back to health. I remembered everything that I learned. I remembered every professor that challenged me, like Dr. Blake, who told me I got an answer wrong on an exam. I know, it's like 30 years ago, and I'm telling you like it was yesterday, because I was right, and she was not. And to this day, I'm going to hold true to what you should do when a patient has a seizure. Okay. As I digress, come along with me, because as I walk through, so proud of everything I was doing, so full of enthusiasm and confident about how I had been prepared and everything that I was doing and caring for my patients, it happened that I made a medication error. And those of you that are doctors, nurses, and dentists and allied health professionals, you too will make mistakes. It was insulin. And this too was 30 years ago, and I remember it like it was yesterday. And the mistake wasn't just on me, but I had to own it. And when I recognized it, that's exactly what I did. I owned it. I had to tell my supervisor, and then I had to tell my patient's mom, and then I had to tell my patient, and they were all very gracious. But I'll tell you that I was destroyed. In that moment, everything that I knew about myself and believed about myself, I doubted. Maybe I wasn't as good as I thought I was. Maybe this wasn't what God had purposed me to be. Maybe this wasn't what I should be doing. I could have killed a patient. And you all may have heard that life and death lies in the power of your hands as a healthcare professional. And I'll tell you that life and death also lies in the power of your heart. And it also lies in the power of your words. You will take many oaths during your journey. And when you say those words, don't just recite them. Say it like you mean it. Say what you mean and mean what you say. You have a responsibility to be true to yourself, honest with others, and personally accountable. Hold yourself accountable in such a way that no one holding you accountable can outdo you. Know your strengths and weaknesses, then strengthen your weaknesses. Here are mine. Some of my strengths, and you can see them. I'm wholly honest and genuine. I'm a direct communicator, and I'm committed to doing what is right, just, and fair. And here are some of my weaknesses. I have difficulty releasing control, and I'm slow to trust. I'll own that. Not wanting to be viewed as incompetent or incapable. And that last one, I'm committed to doing what is right, just, and fair. And some of you may have noticed that I also included that as a strength. And sometimes our strengths can also become our weaknesses. Think about what your strengths are, and then think about your weaknesses. And then strengthen your weaknesses. One of the things that's important, and it's been said here, that you should know yourself and heal yourself first. You will make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And actually turn to the person next to you and tell them, you're going to make some mistakes. All right. When you make a mistake, own it and then fix it and then heal yourself and forgive yourself and don't make that mistake again. I can tell you I never made another medication error. Whatever your area of study, whatever you do, strive to do it so well that no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be born can do it better. And that's something that when I first heard that quote, it has stuck with me because I thought, yes, maybe I can outdo the people that have gone before me, the old people who have moved on. And maybe I believe I'm better than my peers. But that last part, no one yet to be born, that takes true commitment. It takes sacrifice. But I believe that you can do it. No individual can become the best at what they do alone. And you've heard that already today. Each of us has someone or several someones that have inspired us, lifted us, or challenged us. And the result of that is finding your true purpose or calling and doing it well. Your early relationships, that's my family. And your current relationships, that's my family. Within and outside of your family and friends will serve to help grow and shape who you ultimately become. And in turn, you will do the same. I charge you with the responsibility of doing the same. I mentioned that sometimes you will be challenged and perhaps sometimes even mistreated. Professionalism is maintaining your composure even when those around you do not. It sometimes requires that we do things that take us out of our comfort zone, that make us uncomfortable. It means that we have to confront some people and we will have conflicts and you will have difficult conversations. And I want you to welcome and go with excitement and vigor when you have those conversations. Don't avoid them because it can lead to dysfunction. My husband, who is a psychologist, and he's walking around here taking pictures of me, baby, get my good side. He shared this with me, and he said that sometimes when people get under your skin or irritate you, you need to ask more questions. And in doing that, you will perhaps learn more about them before and instead of making conclusions and judgments. Let's talk about respect. We are not all alike. We start from different places. We represent different genders and cultures and backgrounds. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one, but I will say that you have a professional responsibility to respect yourself and everyone else, even those people who can do nothing for you. You may have heard as I said, that life and death lies in the power of your hands, your heart, and your tongue. To earn respect is precious. Do everything in your power to maintain it. And above all, respect and preserve the dignity of your patients you will be charged to care for. I encourage you to watch a movie called WIT, W-I-T. It aired in 2001, but you can get it on HBO Max, YouTube, and a few other channels should you choose to subscribe. That particular movie is based on a stage play, and it teaches that medical professionals should always remember that their patients are not a case, nor illness, nor experiment, but rather human beings with souls and pains, just like each of you. As it pertains to your peers, sometimes the greatest reward is in helping someone else succeed. It is not true that someone has to lose in order for you to win. It is true that when we win, you win. We are quite simply better together. My good friend Brennan Francois, who was here in this spot last year, and his team at AU Health have created what's called the web, where everyone belongs, a culture where everyone belongs. And whether you join that team there or whatever healthcare facility you join in the future, or perhaps even your own private practice, you have to believe it and embrace it before you can create it. Be an active part of what connects us. And finally, my last point. If you know yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses, if you honor your relationships and cultivate them, if you respect yourself and others, you will be unstoppable. I want to hear you say, I am unstoppable. Oh my. I need to hear you say that again as if you believe it. I'll count to 3 for you. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you all are unstoppable. You all, I'm not sure yet. One more time, as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I believe you. Do not allow anyone to convince you that you are not worthy or capable. Do not allow anyone to convince you that you do not fit in or belong. Do not allow anyone to compromise your self-respect or your commitment to respect others. And if you remember what has been shared today, what you've heard today, what I've shared today, there is no one and nothing that can stop you from achieving your dreams. No one that can keep you from reaching the highest heights and your greatest accomplishments. So I encourage you today and every day, do what you do so well that no one living, dead, or yet to be born can do it better. I'm Wendy Perry, and I want to see you at commencement.
Thank you, Ms. Perry. That was a really inspiring message. I will be reading the Code of Professionalism, which you guys can all find in your program, and I'll be having you guys repeat it after me. Okay, you guys are going to have to stand while reading it. Perfect. Okay. Please repeat after me. To ensure the highest standard of care, I will demonstrate respect for my patients, peers, and faculty. Recognize the limits of my abilities and increase my knowledge and skills throughout my professional life. Work collaboratively with colleagues in all health professions to promote high-quality patient and family care. Practice my profession with integrity, honor, and transparency. Conduct myself to reflect the larger community I represent. As an aspiring health professional, I freely take this oath, and upon my honor, I pledge my assistance to those who do the same. All right, you guys can be seated. I would now like to introduce one of your dental classmates, Isha Mittal, to ring the Arsenal bell.
You all are dismissed.
Thank you guys for being here. Goodness, appreciate it. Good job. Hey, thanks so much for being here.
Absolutely, that was a lot of fun. Good. Great job.
Oh, you're welcome.